Hey, we're back with Drew Eichner, and he's going to kind of give us the 101, the FAQs, the frequently asked questions, or in other words, some of the misperceptions that show up as people are moving towards that important step of divorce.
Well, there's a few commonly asked questions that lead to misconceptions. And the first thing is, can I get a legal separation? Is there such a thing as a legal separation? And while there is a specific proceeding called a petition for legal separation, that is a device that was used in the 1800s and has no application today. If you were elderly or a Catholic who couldn't get a divorce, it might be used, but it is, for all intents and purposes, there is no such thing as a legal separation. When you and your spouse separate without a court proceeding, you're just married living apart, and no special rights or obligations accrue to either of you. And so when people separate, you're at the whim of the other spouse. One spouse may say you control when you see the kids or don't see the kids. The other spouse, who controls the purse strings, may give you some money that month, may not give you some money that month. And without a court proceeding pending, you're operating without a net. And so I tell people to be very careful under those circumstances, because it may have an emotional benefit for you to leave the house, but there may be a detriment. And what I also tell people, since there's no such thing as a legal separation, what you do while separated may be a precedent for what happens when a case is actually pending. So for example, husband and wife separate, the husband's the breadwinner, he sometimes pays the wife too much money each month. Sometimes he pays her not enough, and the wife accepts it. And if that goes on for a period of time, and when you go to court, sometimes it's difficult to unwind that. So you may be stuck paying more money because you showed you could afford it, or you may be stuck receiving less money because you showed you could live on it. Now, we can try to undo that, but it's better if up front you understand these things. Again, that's why you would see an attorney, to go forward with knowledge and information rather than a vacuum. Talk to a lawyer if you're going to engage in a separation that you think may lead to, even if it doesn't lead to divorce, if you think it might. So again, you can plan these things out. Do something consistent with your best interest of the children, and not prejudice you in a case that may be pending. And that's something that people don't do, that they should do. They think they're legally separated and that there's some benefit or legal status to that. And as I tell people, you're married until you're divorced.